Hello students, today I am going to discuss about the topic abnormal molar mass. So it's the last topic of chapter 2 named as solutions in class 12. So again just for a recapitulation, what are colligative properties? Colligative properties are those properties which depend upon number of moles of solute particles and they do not depend upon nature of solute particles. So basically, what is the purpose of calculating a colligative property? The purpose is to determine the molar mass of unknown solute. So here comes the topic of abnormal molar mass. So if number of moles of the solute particles vary, definitely it will impact the value of colligative properties. So when there will be a change in number of moles of solute particles, colligative properties value will change and hence we will get abnormal molar masses. So what is an abnormal molar mass? When calculated molar mass is not equal to experimental molar mass, then we say the molar mass that we have calculated from experimental method, that is from colligative property, is incorrect. So incorrect molar masses calculated from colligative property are known as abnormal molar masses. So again the question arises, why there is change in molar mass? A very simple and logical answer is that, as I have already mentioned, that colligative properties depend upon number of moles. So there could be two possibilities, either association or dissociation of solute particles. Let's take an example. So suppose we have added KCl in water to make a solution. So we have taken 1 mole KCl in the solution, but when it mixes in water, it dissociates into K plus ion and Cl minus ion aqueous, right? So rather than staying as 1 mole of KCl, it appears as 2 moles of K plus and Cl minus ions. So when number of moles will change due to dissociation, the value of colligative property will change and hence the molar mass that we will be calculating will be incorrect. Similarly, in case of association means when two molecules combine with each other or more molecules combine with each other. So specifically dimerization of acid, what is dimer? When there will be association of two molecules. For example, acetic acid. When acetic acid is mixed in water as a solvent, then it has found that 2 moles of each acetic acid molecules combine or associate to form 1 molecule. So rather than appearing as 2 moles, every 2 mole will appear as 1 mole. Hence again the colligative property will change due to change in number of moles, due to which we will obtain abnormal molar masses. So now how to correct the colligative properties? So there was a scientist Van 't Hoff. In 1880, he corrected the formulas of colligative properties by calculating the value of Van 't Hoff factor. Van 't Hoff factor is a parameter which explains the extent of change in molar mass. So it is equal to normal molar mass upon abnormal molar mass, observed colligative property upon calculated colligative property, and the third formula is total number of moles after dissociation or association upon total number of moles initially. So just to explain it, so Van 't Hoff factor is the extent by how much molar mass has been changed. So it is the ratio of normal molar mass means the mass which we calculate by our own. For example, KCl, the mass of K is 39 and mass of Cl is 35.5. So the normal molar mass of KCl is 74.5. That we can easily calculate by adding the atomic masses of each atom. So what is abnormal molar mass? Which we calculate through colligative property. So when we calculate the ratio of these two, we can obtain I, which is Van 't Hoff factor, the deviation between normal and abnormal molar mass. Similarly, the another way of calculating Van 't Hoff factor is observed colligative property upon calculated colligative property. Observed colligative property is the experimental colligative property, while calculated colligative property is from normal molar mass. And the third and the final formula is total number of moles after dissociation or association divided by total number of moles initially. We will be using the third formula, rather the remaining formulas also. We will use the formulas of Van't Hoff factor to do various numericals. Before that, let's do degree of dissociation or association. Now if we are saying that solute particles will undergo dissociation or association, so the extent to which they associate or the extent to which they dissociate will be expressed as alpha, degree of dissociation or degree of dissociation, right? So degree of dissociation alpha is usually calculated as I minus 1 upon n minus 1, because I is always greater than 1 in dissociation. How do we do that? We'll do the question after this. Similarly, degree of association is 1 minus I upon 1 minus 1 by n. Here 1 is always greater than I, and again I am saying the same thing. We'll be doing a question to explain why in dissociation I is greater than 1 always and in association I is less than 1 always. But here n stands for, in dissociation n stands for number of moles formed after dissociation, while in association n stands for number of moles associated during the process, right? And the last and the final formula of the chapter is Ka. Ka is known as dissociation or association constant, which we have already dealt in 11th class as well. So Ka is C alpha square upon 1 minus alpha, where C is concentration or molarity and alpha is degree of dissociation or association. So let's do a numerical quickly. So the corrected formulas are as follows. So you can see in all the 4 colligative property, either it is lowering of vapor pressure or change in boiling point, change in freezing point or osmotic pressure. He multiplied I into the formulas to make them the corrected formulas. Hence Van't Hoff was successful in correcting all the colligative properties by introducing I in their formulas. Note, above mentioned formulas must be used in case of all the compounds that can undergo dissociation or association. So you are not supposed to use I when there is no association and dissociation, because for that I will be 1, because number of moles before and after will be 1, right? Before making the solution and after making the solution, if it remains 1, then there is no use of putting I in the values or in the formulas, right? For example, glucose and sucrose, they never dissociate or associate. So how to calculate values of I? As I said, we'll be doing the numerical. So this is one of the format of numerical only. So how to calculate value of I without knowing colligative property? Suppose there is a question that there is no colligative property given in that particular question, and a simple logical question has been asked that calculate the value of Van't Hoff factor for sodium sulfate. Now here what we have to do, we have to apply the formula of I as number of moles after dissociation or association divided by number of moles before dissociation or association. Number of moles before divided by number of moles after. So in case of sodium sulfate, can we say that there are 2 sodium and 1 sulfate? So 2 sodium ions and 1 sulfate ion will be formed after dissociation of sodium sulfate. So how many number of moles after dissociation we will obtain? 3 moles. And how many moles initially were there? 1 mole. So what will be the value of I? 3 upon 1, which is 3. Let's take another example. Tetramerization of an acid. Tetramer means association of 4 molecules. So let's suppose there are 4 X molecules. They combine to form a single molecule as X4. So how many moles after association? 1. Number of moles before association? 4. So the value of I will be 1 upon 4. After upon before. What is the value of I for K4FeCN6? As you already know, complexes do not break even they are dissolved in water. So there will be 4 potassium ions and 1 complex ion. So total number of 5 ions will be formed after dissociation. So after dissociation 5 moles and before dissociation 1 mole. So So I will be 5 upon 1, which is 5. In case of Al2SO4 whole thrice, also I is equal to 1, because there will be 5 ions in total after dissociation, 2 aluminium ions and 3 sulfate ions. In case of dimerization of an acid, that we have already discussed in acetic acid, 2X forms X2. 2 molecules of X will combine to form 1 molecule of X2. So before there were 2 moles and after there is 1 mole. So after upon before is 1 by 2. So the value of I is 1 by 2 for dimerization. For tetramerization it was 1 by 4. What about polymerization? For polymerization, absolutely correct, the answer would be 1 upon n, because n number of molecules will combine to form a single molecule. Let's see further. In case of calcium chloride, there will be 1 calcium ion and 2 chloride ions, so I will be 3, as there will be 3 ions in total. In case of polymerization, n number of molecules will combine to form 1 molecule. So after association there will be 1 molecule, and before association there were n number of molecules. So after upon before will be 1 upon n. So this is the format of a question when no colligative property is given. Then we generally need to write a formula. I is equal to number of moles after dissociation or association divided by number of moles initially. Now let's see a question where we have to apply formulas. This particular question is example 12, a very important question, a hot question, must be done, must be practiced by all the students. So the question says 2 gram of benzoic acid is dissolved in 25 gram of benzene, shows a depression in freezing point equal to 1.62 Kelvin. Molar depression constant for benzene is 4.9 Kelvin kilogram per mole. What is the percentage association of acid if it forms dimer in solution? So now repeating the question but step by step. The question says 2 gram of benzoic acid dissolved in 25 gram of benzene. So the solute here is benzoic acid, B, and benzene is solvent, which is A. Solute is dissolved in solvent, right? So I have written B is benzoic acid and A is benzene. The given mass of benzoic acid is 2 gram and the given mass of benzene is 25 gram. Further it says it shows freezing point, depression in freezing point equal to 1.62 Kelvin. So what is the change in freezing point? 1.62 Kelvin. Constant, the value of molar depression constant for benzene is 4.9 Kelvin kilogram per mole. Now what we need to calculate? Percentage association, means extent of association in percentage, or in other words alpha percentage we have to calculate. Also the question says it forms dimer, means there will be 2 moles or 2 molecules which will combining in a association process. So let's see how to calculate alpha. We have delta TF, we have KF. So can we apply the formula of delta TF here? So as association and as association is going on, or rather in any case of association or dissociation, we need to apply corrected formulas to calculate I. So hence, as delta TF is equal to IKFM, M is molality, which is given mass upon molar mass into 1000 upon WA. So by substituting the values, we get the value of I here. 1.62 is delta TF, KF is 4.9. What is the given mass of solute? 2 gram into 1000 upon molar mass of benzoic acid, when you will calculate, will be equal to 122 gram. Multiply WA is 25 gram weight of solvent. So I obtained is 0.504. The most important point that I would like to mention here is that always calculate I up to 3 places of decimal. It's very important to do that. Calculate I up to 3 places of decimal to get the correct values. Now, as it forms dimer, so the value of N is 2. How to calculate alpha? In case of association, the value of alpha is 1 minus I upon 1 minus 1 by N. As you can already see in association, the value of I is less than 1. So 1 minus 0.504 upon 1 minus half, after calculating alpha is 0.992. Now think about the case when you have not considered third decimal place. then the answer will be different and it will be considered as incorrect. So make sure take the value of I up to 3 decimal places. Now what is the percentage association? So alpha multiply 100 will be percentage association. So 0.992 into 100 and the answer obtained is 99.2%. I hope you understood the concept. Thank you.